The ancient sages said that the most valuable element in the house is the emptiness in the niches. Katsuzo in Japan. Traditions take this into account when choosing a home and improving living conditions. According to Japanese thinkers, a home reflects the character, habits, and worldview of its inhabitants, and also helps to understand their situation in life. The health of a family can be determined by the home, and even how long its inhabitants will live. Japanese scientists often turn to the experience of their ancestors and conduct research in the field of healthcare, which takes into account recommendations for organizing recreation and choosing the right practices to maintain and strengthen health. During the research, experts identified another significant factor that affects the vital energy and well-being of a person. This is the choice of a house and its location. However, Nikto did not come up with his own rule, but only advises to follow centuries-old observations in Japan, where illness in housing is considered a natural consequence of the wrong choice. In Japanese culture, much attention is paid to the area for living. The place of stay is the primary advice of scientists. Niches are associated with this concept, since a person living in a favorable area has a better chance of living long and prospering. Such locations can be found in any city or village, and they are distinguished by the fact that people in them get sick less often and stay healthy longer. There is a known case in one village where some of the residents suffered from illnesses and had a short life expectancy, while the rest were healthy and lived longer. It was later discovered that underground rivers often flowed through the houses of those who were sick, which had a negative impact on their well-being. This example shows how important it is to choose a place to live wisely. It is recommended to found a house on soil where healthy trees with full foliage grow, which indicates the presence of a space favorable for humans. Trees with inclined, crooked trunks, or not growing in a given area, indicate an unfavorable environment. Frequent residence in such houses or apartments should be avoided. If the residents are often sick, it is wiser to choose housing on a hill. In lowlands, the house should receive at least 6 hours of sunlight daily, as the sun is of great importance for health. In Japan, it is usually strictly forbidden to build houses that shade the light of other houses. I have already told other residents about these niches that should be taken into account when building houses. Natural materials are recommended for housing. People living in houses with concrete walls could use wooden structures and furniture made of natural components inside the premises. If possible, materials should be used that promote a healthy atmosphere. It is also important to make the corners of the house and doorways rounded or arched, which helps to maintain the energy of the residents and maintain health. Particular attention is paid to the height of the furniture. For example, working on a kitchen table 86 centimeters high can eventually cause pain and limit the mobility of the cervical vertebrae. The optimal height for a table, according to Japanese traditions, is 96 centimeters, which helps to maintain health when preparing food. Ancient sages believed that the most valuable thing in a house is the space of emptiness, since its absence creates a feeling of tightness and chaos in the room. When there is little free space in the house, a person begins to feel irritated for no apparent reason, and the emotional state worsens. In such cases, you should think about increasing the free space inside the home. This space can be used to set up a table and chairs, and the bed can be folded away when not in use. It is useful to get rid of 5 unnecessary things each week. It has already been mentioned that the condition of the home can tell quite a lot about its owner. The house, kitchen, and closets reflect the state of the body of those who live in it. And if people are weak, this becomes noticeable. It is important to pay attention to health, rest, and physical activity to strengthen the body. The rest should be planned based on your own strengths. Cleaning the house should not be too exhausting. For example, today you can promise yourself to clean only in the evening, and tomorrow you can devote attention to one kitchen cabinet. Little by little, you can tidy up the whole house, because home order is very important. My grandmother always believed that if everything is organized in the cabinet, then everything else will be in order. At first, I explained these thoughts to my father, who was hiding behind a niche. I perceived my grandmother's niches as fairy tale places, but over time, I was convinced that it makes sense. Scientists have noticed that when a person gets tired, he stops keeping order in the house and chaos arises, which is reflected even at work. The family atmosphere affects the workplace, and if a specialist loses interest in his profession, it is important to give the body a rest and clean the house. This improves well-being and helps maintain order. Therefore, it is so important to keep order in the house, getting rid of unnecessary things. It is recommended to select at least 5 things weekly that have not been used for a long time. They can find a new life, whether through donation to those in need or disposal. It is also worth paying attention to kitchenware, getting rid of damaged or cracked ones. Mood and health are directly related to the environment. Even if there's not enough space in the house, beautiful dishes on the Japanese table create a special atmosphere. A full house seems cozy, but the lack of good dishes can make you say that the house is empty. High-quality dishes with careful care can be used for many years. Their beauty is passed down from generation to generation, and the cooking process becomes more enjoyable. Your great-grandmother once decorated a niche exactly like this. To create a harmonious energy in the house, the niche should be decorated with joy and with elements such as paintings of nature or castles, as well as other accessories. Such decorative details help to make the home comfortable and safe for all inhabitants. Monitoring and caring for flowers is also important. For example, chlorophytum in the kitchen is beneficial, absorbing harmful substances and purifying the air. In this way, you can create a balanced environment in the house, which is good for health and longevity. As my father said, this is the kind of order that contributes to a happy life.